February the 20th, and we'll call this regular city council meeting to order. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Deb.
Harley.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Don.
Here.
Jody.
Here.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion then to approve the agenda with one amendment. Agenda item number 14 we need to remove.
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Across the mayor's desk, just wanted to thank our videographer, Caitlin Haig, today. And we also want to wish the Algona High School boys basketball team success as they play their postseason game tonight against Spencer. So, council have anything they would like to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to an update from the city administrator.
Don't have too much to share today, other than just letting folks know that the January-February edition of our digital bi-monthly newsletter, Neighborhood News, that's been released here. So that's on our website, as well as post on Facebook, and it's just under the newsletter section, just kind of the recent happenings going on in the city and upcoming events, and then as well as we have a version of this in Spanish as well.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, thank you.
Mayor, can I say one thing?
Oh, sure, yes.
I just wanted the council to know on the legislative forum on March 18th, all three legislatures are willing to stay after the forum to talk to appointed and elected officials about property tax reform and the local option sales tax and stuff. So if you could get it put on your calendar, I think we can have really good conversation. The school's been told, KCEDC, the county, everything, so I think we maybe could have a good round table with our legislators at the time.
Good, thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7. This is the citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda, which includes approving the minutes from our February 6th work session and the February 6th regular city council meeting, approving the bills that are to be paid this cycle, approve a Class C retail alcohol license for the Friends of Garrigan High School, and approve Jacob's administrator's report.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Jody. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 9 is a public hearing. It's 5:04, and we will open this public hearing concerning the proposed property tax levy.
This is a public hearing on the proposed maximum property tax levy and dollars to be collected for certain property tax levies for the proposed FY 2023-2024 budget. What's up on the screen is a copy of the notice that was published in the newspaper. This is a notice that this is only the 3rd or 4th year that it's been required, and it's a rather confusing one. So the kind of the first column there just identifies the city's various levies. The debt service levy is not included. The second levy is what our current revenue amounts are for those levies for the current fiscal year 23, and then what for those levies our composite property tax levy rate is. That third column, that shows if the total dollars to be collected remained unchanged, what that property tax levy would be. And then the fourth column is the proposed maximum property taxes to be collected by those levies in that composite, and then the fifth column would be that annual percent change. So after this hearing, there's a resolution to approve this notice and maximum property tax amount. So this is just setting the ceiling that we would never get to anyways, but this would have an annual percent change of 9%. So I just want, it's not that property taxes are going up by 9%. It's just this is in theory the maximum that we could collect if we so chose. A few items of note kind of affecting the calculations that go into this. The big one that we've seen from the previous year to the upcoming year has been just the increase in the assessed value of residential properties, as well as reduction in commercial levy rates, as well as the multi levy rates and those effects. This notice is based on the current, or excuse me, the original rollback for FY24, which I don't know if the governor signed it yet, but there's a bill that's passed by both the House and Senate that would be reducing those rollbacks on the residential side. So since this is a maximum, that would only end up being less that we could collect, so it has no effect on this. Some of the costs that we've seen going up is increased insurance costs, which talking to some other cities, that seems to be a universal theme that we've seen going up across a lot of different municipalities. Increasing costs due to employee benefits like FICA, IPERS, health insurance, increased operating and capital expenses. And then, like I noted, the debt service levy is not included on here, nor is the plans that we've discussed in work session about using a portion of our employee benefits fund reserve to buy down, what would have to be property taxes, as well as using local option sales tax to reduce our debt service levy. So I hate to go through all just because it's very confusing for just setting a maximum, but these numbers aren't adopting any of these actual amounts. We have not received any comments from the public regarding the notice since it's been published.
Okay. So it's 5:08, then we will close the public hearing. We'll move to agenda item number 10, which is a resolution pertaining to that maximum property tax levy.
As we just had the hearing on it, so this resolution would set the total maximum tax levy rate for the identified levies at 13.78. For the identified levies, revenue not to exceed $3,832,123. And it requires four affirmative votes of the City Council to pass.
Motion to approve resolution approving the maximum tax dollar for certain property levies.
Second.
A motion from Rodney, second from Don. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Deb?
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 11 is a resolution concerning the 2023 Finn Drive and Wooster Street reconstruction project.
We have Matt Cole, engineer with Bolton & Mank, here with us this evening. He'll provide a quick overview on the project and then answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, in your packet tonight, you have the resolution, getting ready to bid and go having that uploaded for online of bids later this week. So the contractor's going to have roughly 3 weeks to look at those bid plans and specs and get some numbers together for a March 14th bid opening. The March 20th council meeting will then hopefully award the project to the lowest qualified bidder and start the process to get contracts in place for construction this spring/early summer. $1.5 million for this year's reconstruction project. Is there any questions about this, Chad?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so do you want me to give you the updates on the other jobs? The Little project, we're working on plans for that. We'll go through the same resolution on the March 20th meeting for that to go out for bid for April bidding for the Little Road job.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
Anything else? So this resolution approves the plans and specs, form of contract pending the public hearing, which it also sets for would be March 20th. Approves notice to bidders, bid opening would be March 14th, and then after the hearing on the 20th, that's when we anticipate being in a position to award a construction contract.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Don, or Tyler, okay, sorry. Second from Jody. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody. Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 12 is a resolution then pertaining to the 2023 Central Park Improvements Project.
It's very similar to the resolution of the one we just had. So this would be the Central Park splash pad, sidewalks, related utility and site improvements. A few items of note since we last spoke. In terms of the timeline, we have moved that back a bit. So we're proposing waiting to issue the notice to bidders until next week. There's kind of a few items that last week we were still finalizing that we're all on the same page on. It's just a matter of getting them incorporated into the actual plan document. So while those are being finalized this week, they'd actually get issued the following. We would have bid opening and due date on March 23rd, and then award the construction contract on April 3rd. The timeline for this project would be substantial completion by December 1st, 2023, and then the project 100% complete and ready for final payment by March 1st of 2024. A couple items to note as part of that change in the scope of work since we discussed last time. Obviously, the bid timeline. We did check on the specs for the proposed lights and that we can get a coupler for that to attach the security cameras and use the power, so that won't pose any issue. And then a few items that we've removed from the scope of work that was in the draft plans uploaded. Removal of the sign there at Central Park is just something we'll take care of as the city. The furnishing, so the benches, receptacles, the bike rack, removing those from the project scope, that'll just be something we'll procure directly. And then removal of the electric charging station, footing and the actual installation of the device. Did speak with AMU. They had no financial commitments. They're fine with that change, so we still will do some of running conduit and the underground electrical work to kind of set the stage for EV chargers if we want to put them there in the future, the pipes in the ground, in some areas that, could easily be, kind of cut out and footings put in, but we won't actually include that element as part of this project, just kind of setting the stage to add them in the future if there's the will to. So those are the items that, again, since last week that we've tweaked, and so they're updating the plans, and why we're not concerned in terms of timeline and things like that of adding an extra week, so we're still comfortable there on getting good bids for this time of year.
So what between the substantial completion by December 1st, right? And then all completed by March 1st? Mm-hmm. What are they gonna get done between December and March that they couldn't get done by September? Like inside a shelter pump house? I'm just asking, because
Yeah.
it seems like you're right in the dead heart of winter, and it's a park, and so why does that 3 months make any sense to me?
The substantial completion is, well, as as it sounds, but then it's just those final punch list items, getting the pay apps done, doing the walkthrough and the inspections, and that was actually one of the items we marked to maybe have with the plan tweaks is bumping that back to like April 15th or May 1st, just thinking if,
Well, if there's a little concrete work or if there's a little touch up here, they're not gonna be able to do that by May
Yeah.
1st.
well, and making sure that it's we can actually test it,
Yeah,
before. We did have in there some language kind of dictating the phasing plan. We ended up pulling that out and just, we have a phase 1 and a phase 2 identified, but letting it at the discretion of the contractor to, what would be a most efficient process for them. So we can't say, we know the features will be installed by this date. It would just be that substantial completion of December 1st. But yeah, we can look at bumping that
well,
final
we probably
pay
would use the
date back.
splash pad to May 15th even. Yeah, I don't know what you want, but I'm just thinking, I don't know what gets completed between December 1st and March 1st. If we don't bump it back or not even have it. But,
And actually, from this last fall's experience, I'd rather have cement work just end when the weather gets cold and pick up again when it warms up, instead of forcing it in.
Yeah, no, we can make that change.
but whatever you
Yeah.
think, I do want this, I want to be able to use the splash pad the next year, spring, as soon as possible, but we probably wouldn't do it more before May 15th or Memorial Day anyway, but.
Yeah.
But whatever, yeah, I just don't want to extend past that, so maybe if March 1st, if we do extend, maybe that's a better deal. You guys would have to tell me that, I just don't see any.
Yeah, I mean,
Work.
there is kind of a lot of kind of back-end work on just closing out a project and doing all the final reviews and put together the operating manuals and those types of things that happen between substantial completion and when it's actually turned over. Like I said, we had discussed that internally of, because it's not like we're going to be able to, if anything that hasn't been tested by December 1st, by March 1st, we're not going to have been able to test it yet.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to. So, yeah,
Has Bolton and Meg given us any indication on supply chain issues with either the street project or this? Back to normal?
On the splash pad, there's a couple items, and everything we have in there that's spec'd or it's an approved equivalent. I know there's, on like, meter sockets and just kind of some random parts and pieces that we're hearing long timelines on. But it really, it's who's their supplier, and then if, they can find an approved equivalent, it, might not be an issue. If we do run into something like that, where it's just we can't get it, we'll have to, adjust plans if it's, out of the contractor's control. I don't think we have anything on the street projects that's really anything of concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, manholes are kind of the longest lead time. Currently it's about a month and a half. So if we get, we're getting bids in March, so we'll get a contract awarded early enough to have kind of those precast manholes already made before construction is really feasible across. So not anticipating any major supply chain issues on the underground for the street construction.
Okay.
can we approve the resolution with, if you change the date, we can still, if you would change the
Yeah.
end date, can we?
Yeah, because the plans specs don't technically get approved until after the hearing. Yep.
Make a motion then to approve the resolution for Central Park.
I'll second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Jody. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 13 is a resolution pertaining to 406 North Phillip Street.
This was a request by the property owner to assess to their property taxes their share of some private improvements that were done with the Phillip Street project, with some driveway and right-of-way work. So this resolution just approves that assessment for, it's in the other document. for $4,965 to be paid over 10 installments with an annual interest rate of 5.5%.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
A motion from Harley, second from Jody. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 14, we were to remove. Agenda item number 15 is a resolution approving a letter of engagement.
So this would be with our bond council, and who we kind of use for any of our urban revitalization, urban renewal work with Allers and Cooney out of Des Moines. As I recall, last year, we hired Simmer and Corey to prepare a plan update for us. Right now, we're on the umpteenth addendum of an urban revite plan that was originally adopted in the 80s. We'd rather just get a clean break and, start a fresh plan. So they've been working on that, the draft blight assessment. Allers and Cooney would be the firm that we'd work with just to make sure that all the resolutions, ordinances, legal notifications that have to go out, that those all meet with the state code. So it's just as we need them, billed hourly, which for typically a plan like this, it would be anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, depending on how complex we end up going on that. We will have a future discussion on the urban revite plan, but this just kind of gets the wheels turning in terms of having that engagement letter in place for if and when we need their services.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion from Don, second from Tyler. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 16 refers to the residential district zoning regulation.
And I thought I had uploaded a bullet list of these items. So after a previous referral to planning and zoning back in January, looking at a triplex and then a single-family zone district, the commission came back with a recommendation of changing the single-family zoning ordinance to allow for those. As we discussed internally, and just with the challenges that we have with, hearing we have a need for housing, additional units, redevelopment of infill lots, we thought, well, rather than just kind of addressing this one-off instance, let's ask, council to refer to plan and zoning request to take a comprehensive look at our residential zoning code and what changes could be considered, would they recommend in terms of making that more efficient for maintaining and developing new residential units. So the proposed referral for plan and zoning to study and report back would include but not be limited to allowing triplex structures in RS 60 districts by special exception, allowing duplex structures in RS 80 and RS 100 districts by special exception, changes to encourage redevelopment of infill lots. A lot of times there's challenges on those with modern day setbacks and just how things were plotted years ago. And then any other changes to encourage development of additional housing units. So nothing, a broad charge of to look at our residential code and report back.
Those are all good things to review. Make a motion to refer to P and Z.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Brad, to refer this to P and Z. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Appointment to
Was
Civil-
there a
that was-
different agenda here that, I show 16 is talk about the pickleball report?
We did that already, so, yeah.
Oh, that was done before. I see,
Yep.
okay.
That wasn't on the agenda, just on
Okay,
I forgot
saw
to
it.
delete that in my agenda memo.
okay. Okay.
Yep. So agenda item number 17 then is appointment to the Cemetery Board of Trustees. A little history, Jenny Weaver's term does expire 2024, and we amended the municipal code. I asked her if she would like to then finish out her term, and she said no, she would not like to do that right now, but I did ask Sharon Mankey, who is an employee at Oakcrest Funeral Services, and she was really happy to be asked that. And she's young and eager to learn, and I think she'll be a good trustee member. So I would recommend Sharon Mankey for this position on the Cemetery Board of Trustees.
Motion to approve Sharon Minke and thank her for her willingness to serve.
Second.
We have a motion from Rodney, a second from Don.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, and yes, thank you, Sharon. And I'll be in touch with her, and I think we'll send her a letter also, so. It is 5:26, and that brings us to the end of our published agenda, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn this council meeting.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.